Okay, so here we are in the shop again. I was actually off today, so I was able to do a little bit of stuff. So I got my laptop in here to test this thing out since I moved it. I did find out the ground wire I had, you can see the corrosion. It was just garbage. So put a new one on it, ground cable from the plasma table for now. But what I think I'm going to do is weld a little tab onto this where I can ground clamp it, but also have an extra clamp that I can move with a magnetic doodad to the material itself if I need to. But that seems to be working, with the exception of, let's see if I can get it to do it. So you can see it move. Oh, there it goes. See it stop. I don't know what it's doing, but there it goes. When you change directions, it locks up. I'm not sure exactly why, so I've got to fiddle with that and see if I can figure out why it's doing that. I ran my water line. So I've got a water line coming down to a T there, and then that goes to a spigot for outside. And then this comes down and into that tank. So I filled that up today. Went ahead and ran everything. Right now it's kind of temporarily run in this part of the building and sort of laying out there. So I've got to fix my backhoe so I can come in here and kind of scrape all this out. I've got to clean all this junk up too. And what I'm going to do is actually pour concrete all the way through here eventually. This breaker had quit working, so this was a 50 amp breaker, and this is actually the one that was in there right here, and you can see the switch just broke. It doesn't really do anything. So this is a 50 amp 480 or whatever breaker. A friend of mine works for an electronics recycling place and had brought me these a while back, and I've had them stuck on a shelf, and it was just the same breaker, so it worked out pretty good. These are 15 amp and this is 50, but I think because I'm actually on, I don't think I'm pulling but about 15 amps to run this motor. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see if it works. I got these at Harbor Freight, and these things are freaking awesome for stripping. There's one with a wire wheel on it, and then I've got this one over here. I've got them where I can mount them on the wall. That's the wrong one. So I've just got them set. Got to try to do everything one-handed. See, this has got a, I'm not exactly sure what that is. But boy, does it clean stuff up good. I've just got them hanging here for now. Let's see, what else did I do today? Rearrange some of this, clean this off sort of, and I put this unistrut up that was in the other part of my building, and you know, basically I can move my TIG torch around a little bit easier now. Put an elastic strap up there, there it is, to kind of pull it over to the wall. So if I unhook this, it'll kind of pull it over there out of the way. What else did I do? Let's see, I moved that. Oh, yeah, this. So I've got pieces of this material left. What I did is I just welded it together, welded a bracket here and on the back side. And then I've got some of this. So I figured, shoot, that would give me a way to mount these here. And if I ever wanted to get rid of them or move them or whatever, I just stuck a sheet metal screw in there I can pull out, and this will slide right out. I did the same thing here. So I've got a belt sander, another grinder. I had this pole here anyway, so I figured why not. That was the first one that I did until I realized I wanted to do two. I've got to take that one off. Made me a little cup for my Sharpies. Already had that there. I always lose these, so I made me a place in here that's going to kind of be their home. Steel wire brushes, stainless steel wire brushes. Figure good place as any to put them here. Put some napkins, shop towels up. You always need shop towels for all kinds of stuff. Let's see. I'm going to actually start working on this pretty soon. So that'll be the next major project I do after I finish that. I've sort of tried to move. I had toolboxes and stuff in here in these corners. And so I'm trying to sort of empty this out as much as I can. And I'm going to bring it into here. So I also bought a sink, which I haven't put in yet. But that'll give me a way to wash hands and stuff like that while I'm out here. My toolboxes I brought in here. I moved my tire balancer was over here, so I moved it over here. I think it makes more sense over here. And where it was, I'm going to get some more of these shelves and come on through here. Yeah, so that's where I'm at now. Slowly working my way through here and getting it done. I had to change the plugs and wires in my truck today. I had a miss on one of the cylinders. I have been using these Harbor Freight tools for a while now. I bought some a while back, and I was using Milwaukee, and I love my Milwaukee tools. They're great. But I gotta say, for the money, you really can't beat these Hercules tools. Got a little light there. One of the reasons that I actually bought them was this. So they started selling this ratchet. Now, just to give you a difference here. This is the Milwaukee ratchet. So this is actually the biggest reason I started buying Milwaukee tools was this ratchet. They were the only ones that had something like this that was small and that worked pretty well. So that's the one that I've had forever. I've got two of these. And this is what they came out with at Harbor Freight. They've got one that's a stubby version that's shorter, but I like the fact that this is longer and has a smaller profile head. So I liked the M12 batteries for a long time, but the little tabs break off of them and then they fall out of your tool. I like the 12-volt system of the Hercules better as far as the way this works. It does limit your tool to some degree because, this was the battery. I don't have one handy. Let me grab it. Here we go. So there's your M12 battery, and these little tabs right here tend to break. Granted, I use my tools pretty good. This is actually an aftermarket battery. Let's see there. So you got that one. There's the switch. It does have a switch that locks that out, which I do kind of like that. I like having that option. This one is 12 volts as well. Now, the biggest reason that I like the Hercules over the Milwaukee is this. You see this thing to change directions? It is a pain. You've got to kind of get your fingers in there, and most of the time you have to put a socket on there and kind of move it forward in order to get this to switch. So, I can't get it to move now. So I've found the trick is to actually put a socket on this thing and kind of move it around while you try to move this. to make it go forward or reverse. That's my biggest gripe with these ratchets. Now this one is right there. Easy, flips nice and easy. It protrudes out enough that you can grab it. And I don't think, yeah. So it does take some of your real estate, I guess. It maybe wouldn't get into as tight a place as that one would get because it is recessed. But if I had to pick one, it would be this one. I like the fact that I have the longer, whatever you call this thing on there. It gives you a little bit more torque if you're using it by hand. And what I like about these is you can still use them just like a regular ratchet. They ratchet just like a regular one. So, but I mean, that is a lifesaver. If you're doing any kind of work in an engine or anything like that, these ratchets are stinking awesome. They're great. So that was one of the first things I bought. And then of course, when I got into them, I bought everything else. I've got a little impact here, and these, I can't get it off of there. So this is a impact socket, whatever you call it, that I picked up at Lowe's. And if you pull, okay, I can't do this one-handed very easily. This pulls off and flips around. It goes back on there. And you see the magnet in there. I've had probably 50 of these little 5/16 drivers, and I use them all the time. And the magnets always fall out of these things. Within about 50 screws, 25 sometimes 10, the magnet will just end up on the screw head, and then you don't have a magnet. This one was like $13 at Lowe's, but I have used it to do a lot of stuff. And let's see if I get, there it goes. The magnet has stayed on there. So if you have that problem, so you see you can flip it, but that's the brand Malco. Let's see if it'll let me focus. Nope, it won't let me. There it goes, Malco. But I got that at Lowe's, and I am telling you, that thing has been awesome. So you've got a 5/16 and a 1/4 inch, which is your two most common sizes. And you can just stick it on there and flip it around. It's got a little ball detent there. But that thing has been worth every dime. If you have that problem, that one, after I think somewhere around 300 of those sheet metal screws, I have yet to see that magnet come off of there. So well worth it. What else? Let's see. What else did I do? I don't think anything else. As far as what I bought, I want to figure out a place to put that. I thought about mounting this on this welding cart. So it's a Harbor Freight cart, and this has been a while. I made a bracket to be able to hold both of these on here. And I think I'm going to make something that will kind of set it here or somewhere, and mount that on there to where I can spot weld right here. And what I intend to do is I've got two 50 amp power cords that come out of this. I'm not using both at the same time. So what I think I'm going to do is put two 50 amp receptacles, plug those into that, and then have a extra long line that will coil up and sit here that I can plug into that outlet there whenever I need to. So make it a little bit longer than I need, and that'll also give me the ability to roll this out. So I usually roll this around to where I need it to go when I need to work on stuff. I want to be able to roll it in there if I need to work on something. This is 99% of the time going to stay exactly where it's at. So I TIG weld here, and if I stick weld something, then I've got long enough leads that I can roll it out. I did make these doors. I don't know if I showed anybody that yet, but this space right here, and this is temporary tarp because I ran out of the tin. I wanted a taller door, if I wanted to be able to bring something tall in here, I can go all the way up to that beam right there, all the way down. So the idea is this stuff will get out of the way if I need it to. All this is on wheels except for those two tables, which I can move pretty easily. But the best way I could figure out to do this is I've got to fiddle with this latch some. It's kind of a pain. But I can open this door, and if I pull this, I can open that door. And if I come up here, I can open that one. Well, it's kind of hard to do this one-handed again. I'm still not quite done. But the idea is I can come in here and unlatch this part, and this will swing out of the way. I'm actually going to take that light right there and run some MC cable over to this, where it will open with the thing, and I can use this to actually get light out into the yard whenever I start working out here. So if I want to work out here, I'm going to pour a concrete pad through here. I'm probably going to use this lift right here, and I'm going to inset it into the concrete. So when I pour the concrete, I'm going to dig down, pour a pad, and let it drop down. And I'm going to drop down a little bit below it in the middle for a drain. So when it rains, it'll drain into that and run me a drain out. It's lower out there than it is right here. So I'm going to run a drain straight through there and give it a way to drain the water out the bottom and out if I want to. And it'll also work as a lift to pick something up. So say I want to come out here and just lift something up and work on it, I can use that lift to do that as well. And then I'll probably tap into this 50 amp receptacle and come out of the bottom for the lift out there. So it'll sort of, you know, again, I won't be using plasma cutter and that at the same time. So that's what I'll use for that. So that's yet another thing in the future that I'm going to do. Shoot. That's kind of tight. Let's see. There. So when I do that, it anchors this in pretty good. I put these here just to kind of keep everything flush. And it all opens from the inside. And like I said, this latch ain't exactly perfect, but that way when I close it inside, you can't open it from the outside. It only opens from the inside. So, but it all stays together and at least hides my welders from prying eyes. So, but yeah, I'd thought about doing reviews on stuff like this. I guess you just sort of got a quick review on that. But I do a little bit of everything. See, here's another one of those things. And it actually has the magnet. I think I hammered that one back in with a punch. But anyway, you get the idea. These little cheap ones, they just lose the magnet too quickly. But I thought about doing reviews of certain things like Milwaukee tools. Because I use every tool I've got. And I use it 1,000 times over. Even stuff as simple as these tools here, or these tool holders here, being able to organize everything, man, I'm telling you, these are awesome. I guess it is expensive when you spend about $2 a piece on these over time, but you know what's nice about that is you can do a little bit at a time. And these little pocket knives from Harbor Freight are, so far, pretty nice knives. I've been using Kershaw's for a while. This is one of the ones up there. You can reverse the clip, so if you look at the clip on the package, it's actually not in the same place as mine is. It's up here. These have ball bearings in the pivot point, so the blade is actually between two bearings. I've had Kershaw knives, and what ends up happening is it uses like a copper washer inside here, and the blade ends up pivoting back and forth, which drives me absolutely up the wall. I can't stand it. I mean, it just feels like a cheap knife. And you pay, $60 for these knives. This was $10, and I use a pocket knife every single day. I mean, it's just one of the staples that I use all the time. This is not an assisted opening knife, so you can push that out, and if you push it out quick enough, it'll open right up. But the Kershaws that I had a little spring, and you could just start pushing them and they would spring out on their own. But for $10, so far, I like this better than the Kershaw that I've had. The edge was razor sharp when I got it. I've heard people talk about, it's got, let's see, I don't know what kind of steel this is. Let's see if it'll focus. It's just not going to focus. There we go. It is 8CR13MOV stainless steel. I don't know if that's good, but so far I've cut a lot of stuff with it. It's held a really nice edge. And I really don't mind sharpening a knife. I actually enjoy sharpening knives, so a lot of times I'll touch a knife up 2 or 3 times a week as I use it. But so far, I've used it for about a week now, and I liked it enough that I went back and bought like 7 or 8 more to stick back in case they stop selling them or whatever, or if I lose one, something like that. So, but I don't know if that would be something anybody would be interested in, reviews on certain things like that. I've used a lot of tools, and I use them pretty hard on a regular basis, so might be something good that maybe somebody wants to know. But anyway, if you want reviews, let me know. But yeah, so just quick update. That's where I'm at, and slowly getting there. I've got like 4 or 5 of these beams, 32 foot long left, which I think will be enough to finish this part, but not enough to do this. So I'm debating on going back and buying more of those beams or not and doing something else. I don't know yet. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. But anyway, you guys have a good day.